Did you know that 8 out of 10 pet owners are accidentally damaging their cat's skin, coat, and long-term health every single time they reach for the shampoo bottle? And the worst part, they genuinely believe they're doing something good for their best friend. These aren't rare mistakes made by neglectful owners. They're happening in millions of loving homes right now. Veterinarians see the damage every single week. Infections, hair loss, chronic skin disease, even organ stress. But most owners never connect the symptoms back to bath time. Only a small percentage of cat owners ever learn the truth. And those who do, their cats live longer, healthier, more comfortable lives. Watch closely until the end, because the final mistake is so common that groomers call it the irreversible one. And once it's done, you cannot undo it. Welcome back to Feline Mind. Let us begin. Bathing too often. Mistake 12. Bathing your cat too often. Most owners think more baths mean a cleaner, healthier cat. It feels responsible. It smells better. But here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. Your cat's skin produces natural oils called sebum, a protective barrier that locks in moisture and blocks out bacteria. Every time you bathe your cat, you strip these oils away. Bathe too often and the skin never recovers. It becomes dry, cracked, and inflamed, an open door for infections, hot spots, and chronic itching. Over time, a compromised skin barrier forces the immune system to work overtime, creating low-grade inflammation that stresses internal organs, including the kidneys and liver. The fix is simple. Most cats only need a bath every 4 to 6 months, or even never, as they self-groom. Cats with specific skin conditions may need a vet-prescribed schedule. More is not better, more is damage. Using human shampoo. Mistake 11. Using human shampoo or soap when you are out of cat shampoo. Your own shampoo smells amazing and feels gentle on your scalp. What's the harm? Here's the harm. Human skin has a pH level of around 5. 5, slightly acidic. Cat skin sits at a pH of 6, 2 to 7. 2, nearly neutral. Human shampoos are formulated for human pH. When applied to a cat, they aggressively disrupt the skin's acid mantle, the invisible protective film that keeps bacteria and fungi out. The result is redness, itching, and flaking, and a skin environment where infections thrive. Use it repeatedly, and you risk chronic dermatitis, secondary bacterial infections, and a cat that scratches itself raw. Dish soap is equally dangerous. It's designed to cut grease, and it will strip every protective oil from your cat's coat and skin. Always use a shampoo specifically formulated for cats. Check the pH range on the label. It should sit between 6, 2, and 7, 2. Strong fragrances. Mistake 10. Choosing strongly scented shampoos. What smells good to you is toxic to them. Cats have up to 200 million olfactory receptors in their noses. Humans have about 6 million. What registers as a pleasant lavender or coconut scent to you hits your cat like standing next to an industrial chemical plant. But the problem goes far beyond discomfort. Many synthetic fragrances contain compounds called phthalates and parabens, chemicals linked to hormonal disruption and organ stress in animals. These absorb through the skin during bathing and accumulate in the body over time. Additionally, strong scents cause measurable stress responses, elevated cortisol, increased heart rate, anxiety behaviors. Chronic stress from repeated scented grooming sessions creates long-term cardiovascular and immune strain. Veterinary dermatologists consistently flag artificial fragrances as one of the most overlooked triggers for recurring skin allergies in cats. Choose fragrance-free or naturally scented shampoos with short, recognizable ingredient lists. If you can't identify an ingredient, your cat's body will struggle to process it too. Not rinsing properly. Mistake 9. Not rinsing shampoo completely. Most owners rinse until the water looks clear and assume the job is done. But shampoo doesn't behave like dirt. It binds to hair follicles and skin pores. And clear water doesn't mean clean skin. Shampoo residue left on the coat continues to react with your cat's skin long after bath time. It breaks down the protective barrier, traps moisture against the surface, and creates a warm, chemical-rich environment where bacteria and yeast thrive. The result is persistent itching, hot spots, and recurring skin infections that many owners treat repeatedly without ever identifying the real cause. Over months, chronic skin inflammation triggers immune responses that stress internal organs. Veterinary dermatologists report that residual shampoo is one of the most underdiagnosed causes of recurring dermatitis in otherwise healthy cats. Rinse twice as long as you think is necessary. Part the coat down to the skin and rinse in sections. If you see any lather or feel any slipperiness, keep rinsing. Wrong water temperature. Mistake 8. Using water that's too hot or too cold. Many owners use water that feels comfortable to their own hand, but your hand is not your cat's skin, and comfort for you can be damaging for them. Water that is too hot strips protective oils even faster than overwashing, opens pores excessively, and can cause surface burns on sensitive skin, especially in short, coated breeds where there is less hair acting as a buffer. Hot water also raises your cat's core body temperature rapidly, putting stress on the cardiovascular system during an already anxiety-inducing experience. Water that is too cold causes muscles to tense, triggers stress hormones, and for older cats or those with joint issues, can cause genuine physical pain. Cold water also fails to properly open the coat for effective cleaning. Repeated thermal stress during baths contributes to chronic low-grade inflammation, the silent driver behind many long-term health issues. Use lukewarm water around 38 degrees C or 100 degrees F. Test it on the inside of your wrist, not your palm. It should feel neutral, neither warm nor cool. Not wetting coat fully. Mistake 7. Failing to fully wet the coat before shampooing. This mistake seems minor. It isn't. When you apply shampoo to a coat that isn't fully saturated, the shampoo distributes unevenly, concentrating in patches rather than spreading across the skin surface. High-concentration shampoo sitting directly on dry skin is significantly more irritating than properly diluted shampoo on a fully wet coat. Additionally, a dry or partially wet coat resists lathering, so most owners compensate by using far more shampoo than necessary. More shampoo means more chemical contact with the skin, harder rinsing, and a dramatically higher chance of residue being left behind, feeding directly into the damage from the previous mistake. For long-haired breeds like Persians or Maine Coons, water simply beads off the outer coat if applied too quickly. Proper saturation requires slow, thorough wetting that reaches all the way down to the skin, which can take several minutes longer than most owners spend. Spend at least 2 to 3 minutes thoroughly wetting the entire coat before applying any shampoo. The coat should be completely saturated, no dry patches anywhere. Scrubbing too hard. Mistake 6. Scrubbing the skin too hard. Bath time feels like a good opportunity for a deep clean. So owners scrub firmly, thoroughly, and in doing so cause damage that won't be visible for days. A cat's skin is significantly thinner and more sensitive than human skin, roughly 3 to 5 cell layers thick compared to our 10 to 15. Vigorous scrubbing with fingernails or rough grooming tools creates microscopic tears in this delicate surface. These micro wounds don't bleed. You won't see them, but they become entry points for bacteria, yeast, and environmental allergens. Repeated aggressive scrubbing also stimulates excessive oil production as the skin attempts to repair itself, ironically, making your cat's coat greasier faster and creating a cycle where owners bathe more frequently, causing more damage. Veterinary skin specialists consistently identify owner scrubbing technique as a contributing factor in cases of recurrent bacterial skin infections known as pyoderma in cats with no other underlying condition. Use only your fingertips in slow circular motions. Never use fingernails or stiff brushes directly on skin. Gentle and thorough always beats hard and fast. Leaving coat damp. Mistake 5. Leaving the coat damp after bathing. The bath is done, your cat shakes off, seems mostly dry, and you move on. This is one of the most common and most damaging mistakes on this entire list. A damp coat traps moisture directly against the skin surface for hours in that warm, wet environment. Bacteria and yeast multiply at alarming rates. The condition this creates, called moist dermatitis, or more commonly hot spots, can develop within hours of bath time and spread rapidly across large areas of skin. For thick or long, coated breeds, the outer coat can feel dry to the touch, while the undercoat remains completely saturated. Owners assume the cat is dry. The skin underneath is incubating an infection. Chronic repeated episodes of moist dermatitis cause progressive skin damage, scarring of hair follicles, and in severe cases, deep tissue infections requiring antibiotics. Veterinary clinics see a measurable spike in hot spot cases in the days following home bathing. Always dry your cat thoroughly immediately after bathing. Towel dry first, then finish with a dryer on low heat. Never let a damp cat air dry unsupervised indoors. High heat drying. Mistake 4. Using high heat when blow drying. You just washed and towel dried. Many owners reach for a hair dryer and point it directly at the coat on high heat. It's faster. The cat gets dry in minutes. The damage, however, lasts much longer. High heat from blow dryers causes immediate moisture loss from the skin surface far beyond what is healthy. It denatures the proteins in the hair shaft, creating brittle, damaged fur that breaks easily and loses its natural protective structure. More critically, it burns the skin's outer layer, often without visible redness at first, disrupting the same protective barrier that every mistake on this list destroys from a different angle. Cats cannot tell you they are in pain. Many will simply stand still and tolerate discomfort because they have been trained to accept grooming. This silent tolerance masks ongoing thermal damage. Professional groomers are trained to keep dryers at a proper distance and temperature. Most home users are not. Always use a dryer on the lowest heat setting, held at least 20 to 30 cm from the coat. Keep the dryer moving constantly. Never hold it in one spot. Skipping brushing before bath. Mistake 3. Skipping brushing before bathing. Most owners bathe first, brush after. It feels logical. Wash away the dirt, then detangle. But this sequence causes significant avoidable damage to both the coat and the skin underneath. When a matted or unbrushed coat gets wet, the tangles tighten. Water causes hair shafts to swell, locking knots into hard, compressed masses that are nearly impossible to remove without cutting. What was a manageable tangle before the bath becomes a solid mat after it, pulling constantly against the skin, causing irritation, restricting airflow, and trapping moisture against the surface. Attempting to brush or detangle, a wet matted coat causes hair breakage and pulls at the skin repeatedly. Over time, areas of chronic matting develop thickened, inflamed skin underneath that is highly vulnerable to infection. Pre-bath brushing also removes loose hair and debris, allowing water and shampoo to penetrate the coat evenly, directly improving the effectiveness of the entire bath. Always brush thoroughly before bathing. Remove all tangles and mats while the coat is completely dry. Never attempt to detangle a wet coat. Removing mats incorrectly. Mistake 2. Pulling or cutting out mats the wrong way. Mats happen, and when owners find them, the instinct is to deal with them immediately. Fingers pull, scissors cut, problem solved, except it often isn't. Pulling mats apart with fingers or a brush tears hair from follicles and stretches skin that is already inflamed and tender underneath. The skin beneath a mat is almost always in a compromised state. It has been deprived of airflow, accumulated moisture, and in many cases begun to break down. Aggressive pulling on this already damaged skin causes wounds that are invisible until they become infected. But cutting mats with scissors is even more dangerous. The skin beneath a mat is often pulled upward into the mat itself, sitting far closer to the surface than it appears. Thousands of cats are brought to veterinary emergency rooms each year with lacerations caused by owners attempting to cut out mats at home. Never cut into a mat with scissors pointed toward the skin. Use a mat splitter or dematting comb first to divide the mat gently. For severe mats, always take your cat to a professional groomer. A professional grooming session is infinitely cheaper than emergency stitches. Shaving long coat. Mistake 1. Shaving long. Coated cats too short. It's summer, your Persian or Maine Coon looks hot and miserable. Shaving them short seems like an act of kindness. It is one of the worst things you can do to their long-term health. Long-coated breeds have distinct layers, a dense insulating undercoat, and a protective outer coat of guard hairs. This system does not just keep cats warm in winter. It actively regulates body temperature in both directions, reflects heat in summer, and shields the skin from UV radiation and environmental exposure. When you shave a long, coated cat too short, you remove this entire system. The cat is now exposed to direct sun with no UV protection, dramatically increasing the risk of sunburn and skin cancer. Body temperature regulation is severely compromised, but here's what makes this the worst mistake on the list. Shaving too short often causes a condition called post-clipping alopecia, where the coat grows back incorrectly with the undercoat and guard hairs growing in the wrong proportions. In some cases, the coat never fully recovers. This is irreversible. You cannot undo it. Breeds this applies to include Persians, Maine Coons, Ragdolls, British Longhairs, Norwegian forest cats, Siberians, Himalayans, Turkish Angoras, and Burman cats. Never shave any of these breeds down to the skin. Manage heat through regular brushing to remove excess undercoat, proper hydration, shade, and cooling mats instead. If you want professional deshedding during summer months, ask your groomer for a line comb treatment, not a shave. Here at Feline Mind, we want you to ensure your feline companion stays safe. Now, you know exactly how to protect your cat's skin, coat, and long-term health every single bath time. Did any of these mistakes shock you? Like this video and hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss a tip that could save your cat's life.